Well, what is up, all of you Ugnots and Jawas out there? This is Mando Talk, but you know what? This is a little bit different. I'm doing just like a mini talk real quickly. It is super early for me here locally, but I did just get my viewing of the Bad Batch episode 3 replacements in. So I'm going to real quickly give some spoilers. So if you haven't seen episode 3 replacements of the Bad Batch, click away from this video and come back to it once you have seen episode 3. I'm not going to dive too deep into it because on Monday, let's see what day Monday is going to be. It's going to be the 17th. On Monday, the 17th of May, me and Zach are going to be doing our heavy spoiler discussion where we share and go deep into the canon details and our thoughts and everything like that. Jacob might be there, but there's actually kind of a situation. I haven't heard from Jacob in a while. Random side note, Jacob has lost his phone, so I haven't really heard from him. So he might show up. Who knows? You might get me and Zach, or you might get lucky and get me, Zach, and Jacob. We'll just have to see on that. But I will dive deeper into that episode on that podcast episode or YouTube video that drops on Monday the 17th. So be looking forward to that. But all I'm going to do is just share my quick kind of big initial takeaways. And big takeaway number one for me is I loved the two separate kind of missions that we had in this episode titled Replacements. We had the Bad Batch mission and we had the Imperial mission. And I know Zach is probably going to love the Imperial stuff that we got, and I can't wait to hear what he has to say about that. So let me just give you my quick takeaways with the Bad Batch mission. I thought it was incredibly important to see that the crew was A-okay with Omega actually doing something for once. What we've seen so far from Omega is she does these things to help the crew, with the crew not really being comfortable with her doing them. But in this case, Omega actually gets her first mission, if you will, and that is to go after the Ordo Moon Dragon because it took one of their parts that they used to fix their cruiser. It actually gets greenlit, and I thought that was great to see. They're starting to trust Omega a little bit more. Now, when they are going after that dragon, Omega and Hunter get separated because Omega decides to continue the mission after Hunter's gotten a little bit injured just from losing his breathing mask. And we get a cool little moment here. Now, typically in Star Wars animation, we know that usually there are, and I'm doing this again, usually there are characters that connect heavily with species throughout the galaxy. We had Ezra in Rebels, and even a little bit of Ahsoka in the Clone Wars. Both of those individuals, you know I'm going to say it, are Force sensitive. I think, again, and this might be a stretch, it might just be something that I want to see, honestly. Roast me if you think this is not possible, and that's completely fine. Jump down into the comments and tell me what you think about this. But when she connects with that dragon, and I know it's just like a quick, easy connection, I did get those vibes, though. I do think that if Filoni and crew want to go down the route of Omega being Force sensitive, I do think this is one of those things that we could come back to and say, okay, that makes sense with what we've seen in canon so far. That was a plot line that's been set up, and they continue to execute it. I think that's a potential. I think there's possibility there. Jump down in the comments. Let me know if I'm crazy or if you kind of got those vibes too. Now, before I leave that Bad Batch mission, the next thing that I wanted to say, and honestly, maybe one of my favorite moments from the episode, was at the very end when Wrecker prepares that room for Omega. That was a pretty cool moment, and honestly, I did get kind of emotional. I didn't cry, but it just kind of hit me hard. You know, it's one of those, like, I think back to The Blind Side whenever Michael had never had his own room. Same thing with Omega, never having her own room, and she's so appreciative of that. We keep seeing that. The small little things that we take for granted, Omega, this character, is allowing us as a viewer to realize that we are so blessed with the things that we have. So I'm loving the character Omega 100, 1000%. Okay, that is my big takeaways from the Bad Batch mission. The Imperial mission, Rampart. Rampart shows up, and there's this slight name drop of a Project War mantle. I am personally more interested in that, and I'm sure I will continue to do some research before our big spoiler discussion. Jump down in the comments, though, if you've heard of that before, because I feel like that's a pretty big name drop there that I feel like I should know right off the top. But right now I'm struggling with it again pretty early in the morning, so forgive me on that. But if you know what Project War Mantle is, jump down in the comments, let me know. So Rampart presents the Empire's first elite squad. 0 clones in that elite squad. I thought that was really, really, really cool. Only top soldiers. So we're starting to see that transition from the Empire using clones at the beginning to them now having their own recruits. And we are getting that so heavily already. Perfect setup, and I can't wait to see the execution of how they transition away from clones. So what Tarkin and Rampart decide to do is send that elite squadron to Onderon to wipe out Guerrera and crew. Well, Guerrera's not there anymore. They get there, they wipe out the people that they can, and Crosshair, man, this was a pretty intense scene. Crosshair decides to just wipe them all out, even though the recruits, the elite squad, didn't really want to because they signed up to be soldiers, and Crosshair makes the statement, good soldiers follow orders, and he followed the orders and he executed it. And this is proof right here, or at least Tarkin and Rampart both see it. The clones have a purpose right now, and that is to create this new wave of soldier, these dedicated individuals that want to be part of the Empire, but maybe get them to see the, I guess, more difficult order ways that the clones are used to, and then transition the clones out. I thought that was really interesting. They are perfectly setting that up. Now, Tarkin grants Rampart the rank of Admiral, and Tarkin appears to be done with Kamino, so we might not see Tarkin again. Who knows? Let me know if you think we'll see Tarkin again. I'm pretty sure we'll see him again in some form, but maybe not as heavily as I thought we were going to. Maybe Rampart is now going to be the main admiral that we see in this season. Who knows? Let me know. And then at the very end, the Kaminoans again are hinting at creating a superior clone in order to stay relevant in the Empire's eyes. They're struggling, if you will. They're trying to figure out how to continue to be relevant in the galaxy. They've been relevant for a while now in the galaxy because of the clones. They're running out of Jango Fett's. I don't even remember what the word was, but they're running out of the things they need from Jango. They're running out of the things they need from Jango in order to create some more clones. So they're struggling a little bit, but I think they're wanting one of the Bad Batch members, even maybe Omega, to come back and help them create their superior clone in order to stay relevant in the Empire's eyes. And then at the very end of that mission, we see a slight hint of Crosshair's internal struggle when they get back to their home base and they're in their little bedrooms and things like that. I think that's where the Bad Batch was, so I think it hits them a little bit. We get a little hint of that throughout the episode. We get a hint of the Bad Batch members missing Crosshair, and they're eventually going to try to do something about it. I think they're eventually going to want to go after him. I think it's going to end up, for me personally, here's a prediction, I think it's going to end up being one of those moments where Crosshair realizes the things that he's done wrong. He gets his little redemption, but eventually he dies for having to, I guess, take a stand for his old crew of the Bad Batch. That's just my prediction right now. That might change after the next episode, but that's all I've got for my quick takeaways. I hope you enjoyed this mini talk of me just doing my quick, big takeaways from the Bad Batch Episode 3 titled Replacements. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, because on Monday, May the 17th, you are getting a spoiler-heavy discussion where hopefully I know a little bit or more about these little details that we saw in this episode, and you'll hear Zach's thoughts on those as well. You know you love Zach, so you want to come back, check that out. Jacob might be here, who knows, you never know what to expect from Jacob, and I hope you love that, and I hope you love us. So come back to us on Monday the 17th to check out our full spoiler discussion, and until then, we have spoken.